Hi, Kermie.
I was wondering when you were going to say something about my voice. I could do it for the public. Welcome to today's show, boys and girls.
I don't think so.
I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Quiet on the set.
Quiet on the set. You're listening to WRFB, Radio Free Britannia. As the Oracle foretold, two idiots who would misinterpret the news so you don't have to. Live from Deltona, Florida, the avatars themselves, Jack and Laz.
Greetings, everybody. This is Laz.
And this is Jack. Welcome to another day here in Lunch with Laz and Jack, where we interpret the Shroud news so you don't have to do anything other than question your own personal life choices and ours, because they deserve to be questioned.
And
Giveaways
check
are...
Jack's nice t-shirt.
Yes. Get naked. I have a plan.
And Jack's nice new
Yes.
shiny camera. Where you can
Well, I
actually
could've-
see... You can actually see more of Jack.
Hey, man. Yes. Now, if the unchecking that one box would actually do other things, that would have been nicer. But yeah. Oh, and Rustic says that he's naked. So now we're gonna do weird things. But yes.
Do you have your sock on, Rustic?
Man, I tried to take
Or-
that sock picture and post
or
it on
should I say,
Facebook, and it got deleted for some odd
do
reason.
you have your sack on? I should say, not
Your
socks, but
sack,
your sack.
yes,
Yes.
yes, the wine sack. But yes,
We have that picture in our intro on Twitch.
nice. Rustic just wearing the sack.
He's got something else there, but yes, yeah,
Yeah.
part of the intro for Twitch when you go out
Okay.
there.
Yes, but giveaways are open for streamer bundles. You need to bundle me on both streams if you want to get in on the Steam key giveaway on Laz's side. That's bang I love free shit, and bang the boutte on my side.
Right,
And remember, those keys can be anywhere from 59 cents to or 99 cents all the way up to 107. I mean, they have been all over the place.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Lomir,
Yeah.
you won a game key yesterday as well as winning
Ooh.
a streamer bundle. So let me hand you your streamer bundle right now and get that to you. And then I will tell you what the game key was, and if you decide you want it, you can take it. If not, we will recycle it
Thank you.
later on today. And the game you won
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
was Smoke and Sacrifice, I believe was the game. Is that the right one? Yes. Smoke and Sacrifice on Steam.
Did I
I'll
close
donate it.
Damn it.
Okay, he's gonna donate it. So
Looks a little too cartoonish for me.
okay.
Yep.
So Smoke and Sacrifice.
But whoever gets it next, I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, it is a $20 game, so that will be up for grabs later on today. Or so we stop doing that.
What? What are you talking about?
Because it looks stupid.
Can I pull a Chris?
You got to have a
Okay.
fish tank. You need a fish tank. in order to-
Yeah. Need a fish tank. Yes. But yes. Oh man. Yeah. So Lich is still a problem.
I tell you what is, I got that report today. Hold on here. Where is capture cursor? I don't know why that changes because the cursor shouldn't be captured. It wasn't yesterday, and it was again today. Okay, now I got that fixed.
So we're going out to Snug Harbor again.
No,
Or
is
never
we're gonna go out first to Journey's End today. But
Ah,
before we
okay.
do that, I gotta of course say welcome
Oh.
to today's show, boys and girls, as we head on out that way to the show. It is Friday, Fruck Awesome Friday,
Frickin' A, what right it is.
April 11th, 2025. As we head on out, we're
man.
gonna go right to
Or
the
double-
town
or-
crier.
Or double
it-
April Fool's Day.
Town Crier's at the docks, so it's
Yes.
docks, Town Crier. There's like three things right at the same spot. Good
Dude.
Shroud logic.
Docks and town crier, yeah.
But, I mean,
Although
it's-
they're a couple of feet apart. But I got this report from two people today. Sean Butts initially saying there's a leech in Journey's End that is preventing me from updating my offender. I assume it's cutting down on shoppers as well. Now, when we tested this, you may want to have a dog out when you do this. Well, first off, yeah, come over here.
I
and
see
then,
one of them. I
Yeah.
see one of them right.
And
right,
then
right there.
We got a report that there were actually two. I've only seen the one, which is right there, and that's on Noob Skyblabber's lot. Now, funny enough is he actually
it's coming at you.
leaves the lot, which he's not supposed to do.
Yes.
And he's been killing bankers and town criers and of the like. But I don't know where the other one is, so let's go look because there was a report of two of them being out here. Also, there are plenty of
You're
lots
running
out
that
here.
way. I will run the other way.
Yeah, I didn't see anything over there earlier when I went that way.
Nothing. Nothing for nub. In all the wrong places.
Yeah, no, there's only the one that I see. It's the only statue that I see. I mean, there ain't a whole lot of ain't a whole lot of ground to cover here.
Nope.
Now, of course, interestingly enough, this statue is on a lot which should limit the Lich's movement to the lot. Which,
well, I mean, shroud logic, man. Shroud logic.
well,
So they place a lich in the game that comes a statue that comes to life.
Yeah,
yes.
and they haven't fixed the bug, which means it's going to be there for.
It's
several
only
months.
meant to be used in a
or-
dungeon, yes.
Yeah.
But when the last patch came out, something got
When
messed
they
up somewhere somehow.
they renamed the statue and the mob
Yes.
from Lich Fighter T15 Lich Fighter and to just Lich, and they haven't done the patch yet because that should be one where not everybody is going to go pick up their statues and put them away intentionally.
Not everybody is reading, yes, the information, even though is it still there?
I wonder if the tabletop lich statue comes to life. You know, like a little lich.
No, because these are meant just to be in dungeons. So
right, that would just be funny if a little lich came to life and you had a little lich going around trying to kill people.
So now I want to just see something. I have this lot right here, which I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna place yet another statue right in the middle of this lot, and let's see what happens.
Oh, just for grins.
Just for shits and giggles, and see if he'll actually leave this size lot. Maybe it's got to do with the market lot.
Hold on. Let's see. Yep, he left.
Yep.
I had to go find the option to display the numbers on it, but you can see how quickly Tyrion actually takes care of them when Tyrion's buffed.
Absolutely.
So are these the same lich statues that are in the crown shop for 1,000 crowns?
No, these are the player craftable ones for dungeons.
Okay.
You need to find the recipe. Yeah, you need to find the recipe as a drop, and then once you have the recipe.
Lich essences.
But interestingly enough, yes, is they do leave the lot in player-owned towns, which is real funny. Now, we had Conjurer tell us that they're also having a problem where, Conjurer?
Brocash. Okay.
Brewcash?
Brocash. Yeah.
BRO, BROO.
Brocash.
Okay, so we're going to head out there, and all I have is 2 points, Town Crier and Northeast.
I do not have Brocash, so send me an invite. Oh, damn, you're already gone. Yep.
You just have to teleport the friend.
Yep. Well, you hide your zone, don't you?
I shouldn't be, yeah.
No, it is Brewcash.
BROO.
Brewcash. Yeah.
And this is not the Town Crier I was expecting to go to, so let me see this map.
Well, there is only one Town Crier in scene, so.
That's not true.
What? You can have multiple Town Criers?
You haven't seen multiple Town Criers?
Which scene has multiple Town Criers?
Several of them.
Go identify them all.
Come on. Where are they? Where are they? We want our 250 gold.
Okay, so he
Oh.
said it's down by the ferry between the town crier and the dock. So I just left the town crier, headed to the dock. So maybe it's on the other side here.
Oh, I found them. I found them both.
Where are you?
To your left, behind you. And they have killed some guards. I get free loot.
Bastards.
Free loot for me.
I don't
Guard
see.
corpse.
I don't
Oh,
see.
You're obviously running the wrong way.
I'm
Why
going
don't
back
you-
to the
why-
town
why-
crier.
Why don't you party up?
Go
It'll
back
be
to the
easier to find
docks.
them.
There they are. There you are. Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna watch Laz die to them.
Yeah, okay, there's two of them there. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, damn. What? How did that not stun you guys?
All right, so you're killing
But-
them. I'm looking for the statues. Where are the statues? There's
Check inside
one.
the house.
Oh, they're both right outside the house here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're both right outside, standing here. Actually facing the other way, which is interesting, but
Well, actually, one is clipping through a wall.
they're actually both
No,
outside the wall as far as I'm seeing them.
no, it's clipping all the way through the wall on my screen,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and the other one is also clipping through the wall.
Ah, yes, he is. I didn't see it that way.
Great shroud design.
Oh,
man.
no. Oh, no. Just another list through the wall.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
according to Conjurer, if you let that one chase you around, he will actually go through like walls and stuff and chase you
funny.
inside buildings. Yes.
So Laz, did you know you can get on top of trees?
In some places.
Come find me.
Yeah, I saw you jump up over there.
Okay.
I saw
on
you
top of
jump
a
up
tree.
over there.
Just look for Tyrion and then look
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Look
I
up.
see you. I see him.
Pretty damn funny.
It is. 'Cause what did you do? I don't even know how you jumped over that wall.
Haha. Because I'm special and I know how to use the space bar.
Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm on the rock now. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I did not use a jump potion or anything else.
There we go. On top of trees. Yes.
Yes.
Lovely.
Up top of the trees.
Shroud tree climbing. You too can do it.
Absolutely great stuff. And here's Danny Murphy.
Oh.
Beware of the
Yes.
leeches.
Man.
All right. Well.
I'm trying to see if I can jump into the tree next door, like across the street.
I'll tell you what, this water here looks pretty polluted.
What? It's a little brackish.
Yeah, if you come stand right where I'm standing,
I have no idea where you're at.
right down to the docks.
Oh. You mean the texture's a little awkward?
Yeah, this also looks like
The
black oil floating in the water.
Well, that would be the rocks on the bottom.
The oily rocks.
You mean the rocks that are moving in the water? I don't
No.
believe that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oily water, man. This is
those rocks that are moving. Yeah, no, they're not rocks. Let's see about the other side. Is the other side got the same problem?
Yes. Yeah. It's the zone water texture.
But why isn't it like that out here?
That's what it's supposed to be, is water foam. It's what it's supposed to be. That's why it's closer to shore, not further away.
Well, over here I can see the whiteness for the foam, but
yeah, but I mean that's what it's supposed to be. It's the bubbles of foamy water.
Gotcha.
Hey, man.
Gotcha. All
what
right.
Things are supposed to be.
Let's head back to the lot because we've got some other stuff to talk about.
No, we don't.
The heck is that? We've got a video that we're going to go ahead and cover. You have the video loaded by chance?
Yes, and I'm at the 3-minute mark still.
No, we're going to start right from the beginning.
Start from the beginning. Well, let me dismiss Tyrion. Sit down in the seat. And
True impact. So
bring up the web pages. And are you ready to click?
All right, so let's just preface this. The title, I gotta put this in theater mode, not this mode, because for some reason it doesn't like this in full screen mode for some reason. But the title is The Law.
Finally caught up. Every AAA is in trouble.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So
Let us click start.
Part 1. What just happened?
Clicking start in 3, 2, 1, start.
welcome back, everyone. Today's video is a true bombshell for the games industry. This is one of those things that can have true impact. So
Yeah, he almost looks like Conan O'Brien.
What just happened is the European Union just rewrote the rules on premium currency in games. Of course, that's the home of Ubisoft, of CD Projekt, of DICE, of Remedy, and so many other companies. And make no mistake, the new rules that they have just laid out could change gaming utterly. Actually change the games that you play. So you know those bundles where you've got to buy more currency than the item that you want costs? Or perhaps the idea of limited time events, of no refunds and digital purchases. These are all being fought against by legislators. And when the EU takes action, it's a large enough block that it can reverberate around the world. And as evidence, how's that USB-C charger on our phone working out? There's a lot to talk about. Strap in. This one could actually, honestly, be pretty fucking good. Oddly enough, you've got EU legislation to thank for the standardized phone charger situation and for many, the ability to play ROMs on their iPhone. But now we seem to have EU legislation to thank for premium currency being threatened. So here's what went on. In September 2024, the EU proposed the Digital Fairness Act that was targeting all the practices online that make using digital services miserable. And in particular, it called out dark patterns in video games as one of the targets. And that's basically the gross manipulative techniques that trick and strong-arm money out of people, obviously especially applying to people who are not yet adults. And this is fairly weighty because in the EU alone, games are obviously big business. Revenues have been going up in the EU. Online game spending in 2018 represented 74% of turnover coming from online revenue and 83% by 2022. That's all of those fun, dark patterns actually working and getting digital digital currency money out of people. But those dark patterns target the most vulnerable people the most. And there's no one more vulnerable in the eyes of the law than children. Children who spend an average of €31 a month on online games, according to data from Video Games Europe. Well, that's actually went down from 2023. I guess that's good. Everyone's feeling a little bit of the economic pinch, but it's not stopped the EU from taking action to protect kids, basically, from predatory premium currency models. And in situations like this, there's often a great offender, right, that is held up as an example of something doing everything wrong. So you might wonder, is it an Activision game? Is it Ultimate Team from the EA football games? Maybe it was Roblox. No, today, it's a game about horses. It's called Star Stable. You've probably never heard of it, but if this all does turn out good...
Is that a Chris Pierce title?
We'll have the horse girls to thank.
All right, stop here. Yes, it's all about horses. So first off, do you really think that €30 a month is a big ask, even of children playing video games? I mean...
It depends. Are they stealing their parents' credit cards to pay for it?
Again, I know I know parents who give their kids carte blanche and go, yeah, here, buy Roblox money, buy this, buy that. They have access to and
but
then
it's also extremely easy with kids to just keep on buying things, or even people just going out and instituting, like spending a massive sum in thousands of dollars.
Well, again, they're saying the average is $30 a month.
Yeah, but think of the average U.S. income. You're factoring in a billionaire versus
right now we're talking about the average EU income, because this isn't from the US.
Yeah, but
now
I'm aware. But
Rustic says the fact that Ultima Online had a recurring fee was precisely why he wasn't allowed to play it as a kid. I tend to agree with you, and this is probably the first game that I've ever subscribed for a monthly subscription to, even though you don't have to. But one of the reasons why I played on the free shards instead of playing on the live servers for Ultima Online was the fact that it required a monthly fee in order to keep up with everything, which I did not agree with. I still don't agree with. But
well, you sub, which is a voluntary subscription.
Again, it's not required. Not required. Back in the day, it used to be required to play UO.
But in order for a game studio to churn out games, I mean, think of all the free-to-play games, including Shroud. You need a way to pay for your team, especially for a game that's an online game and has a community.
Charge like for the game. You don't give it away.
Yes, for one, you charge for the game, and two,
now
the other thing that you should do is a nominal.
I'm going to go off on a little tangent here real quick, because I was just watching something the other day where the first musical performing act to charge $100 per ticket was the Eagles when they got back together. And people thought that maybe that might be too much, but of course, by the time that happened, all their fans had the disposable income, had the money, and of course wanted to see the band again, and were more than willing to spend that kind of money. I did spend $200 to take somebody to the show, and that was just for the tickets. Saw them at the Orange Bowl here in Orlando, but
Florida.
Coming soon, I believe Rockstar is now going to be the first game to charge $100 for GTA 6 when it lands. I think that that's going to be the first game we're going to see in the triple digits to
Yeah,
actually
that
do that. Now, some people are saying yes, some people are saying no. Um, but I don't see that as a far out possibility. I see that as being a total reality for all the time they've put in over the years and
oh,
all the,
absolutely.
you
I
know,
mean, that's just accounting for inflation and things like that. The fact
right.
that and
Hell, hell,
the
hell, they got games that are like what,
but
$89.99 or so now. I mean, it's not that.
Your average game is $30, $45, $50. I mean, we've seen
I
there are some games that
just go to
have
the Steam
DLC that
store.
yeah, we have games. I know that there's a air combat game that charges $100+ just to add a different aircraft to its flight simulator, and each aircraft costs $100. But I'm talking about a base game. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I think that GTA is going to be the first one. But before we move on, I want you to scroll down and read some of the first comments here for us because I think you're going to love some of these.
We went full circle from Horse Armor being the first paid DLC to a horse game coursing, causing lawmakers to crack down on in-game monetization. I'd be so happy to see monetized in-game currencies disappear forever. So as Horse started this, and a horse could end it.
Lomir with a sub. Thank you, Lomir.
There's such
Yeah.
a sweet irony in all this. Greedy monetization began with Horse Armor, and now Horse Game causing it to collapse. We haven't gotten to the beginnings of it. I love corporate arguments. We can't grow as much if we don't steal candies from children.
After you're done with the news,
It illegal.
after you're done with the news, I'll do some Marvel.
I'm not expanding all of them.
I was going to say, don't expand any of them. Just
Yeah. And is there one in particular that you want? Because this is going to just keep on going on and on and on.
yeah, I will never forgive horses for what they did to this industry. Horses committed the original sin.
Yeah.
And then
Jackasses.
right below that, the next two.
Well, I will never finally
time.
everything should be able to be no, that's not what I have. I have finally everything should be able to be unlocked in game.
I guess we're not seeing
The
them
only-
in the same order. I don't know why.
Yeah, because we didn't load it at the same time and
They should
refresh
still
the
be.
page.
Yeah. Okay, so
So-
long time Star Stable player here, 8 years. So feel free to pin this or share this since I think you barely touched the tip of the iceberg as to why Star Stable is being taken to court. The game is over 10 years old with an unfinished main story that you can only access by being a Star Rider.
That's
the
the horse
reasoning
game
is that in
about.
order to unlock the full game map, you need to pay 70 euros. Once you get the 100 star coin allowance a week, or about 15 euros, you can't cash the full-time Star Rider if you don't pay at all or stop paying monthly, and you're stuck at level 5. Blah, 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 blah. So this guy goes into a big, 5-paragraph, but, and then the next one, of course, is get
That's
rid
the horse
of
game they're talking about.
Lomir, what?
That's
I'm
the horse
trying to
game they're
help
talking about.
Yes, it's all the
Yes.
horse game. Get rid of in-game currency, limited time purchasable content, and randomized item purchases. Just amongst a few. So we're going to go back up. Before we get back to the videos, we've got a pulley giveaway.
Oh, yes, we do. And my wiener is going to be Lomir. So open up a trade window, Lomir in game, and I will hand
Tweep,
it off to you.
tweep,
Yes.
tweep.
Ooh.
Libu Ibu
And Doug.
is going to get mine.
Libu Lionheart.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations on being a wiener.
Thanks for
Okay,
you.
so-
Congratulations on you being you.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So
We are
basically,
clicking play again.
well, I was just going to recap. Basically, we got a problem with certain ways monetization is being handled. So ready to click play again now?
Yes. We are clicking play in 3, 2, 1, start.
This is Star Stable Online. It comes from a Swedish developer called Star Stable Entertainment, and it is the game that may have just rewritten rules and monetization in the EU. So, yeah, thanks, Horse Girls. Now, it turns out that Star Stable just uses all of the premium currency tactics in the book, which makes it a pretty awesome example, right? Especially because it is targeted at a younger audience. So, in March 24, the Swedish Consumer Agency filed a complaint with the EU-wide Consumer Protection Cooperation Network. That's a mouthful. And that complaint alleged that Star Stable Entertainment were targeting children and using harmful commercial practices that breached EU consumer regulations. Now, the findings corroborated much of those allegations. They found that the game made direct appeals to children in their ads, that they were using pressuring techniques like FOMO, which is particularly despicable when it's not, on adults, and there was a lack of transparency on purchases and loads more things. I mean, here's an example of one that's particularly rough. They were responsible for influencers promoting the game to kids without any disclosure of the spending risk. So, in short, it's bloody well damning. Star Stable Entertainment now have a month to address complaints and propose solutions with their game, but what matters for our purposes today is the Consumer Protection Cooperation Network, we can just call the CPCN. They have laid out what they want. So I'll spell it out via an example. This is what should happen in the ideal world. You, dear gamer, want to buy yourself a new horse. You see that your new horse costs 300 star coins. The store tells you that's around £5, so it just lets you buy 300 coins exactly. You buy exactly what you need for the horse, rather than the current bundles that exist of 200 coins or 400 coins, meaning that you always have to buy with some wastage, which just ends up giving the company more money. So in short, no obfuscation bullshit, no weird tactics. And worst of all for these companies, this will have them bloody well shaking. You'd have to have a refund policy, both for the coins and the horse. And none of this would be pitched as a limited time event where you have got to get the thing right now. So that's an example then of how these policies should be applied, and each is indeed a massive win for consumers. But that would not matter if this amounted to nothing. You could look at all this and think, right, so some Swedish horse game has got a slap on the wrist. No, it's more than that. This seems to have backbone. So here's the big one.
All right, let's stop right there. So, FOMO, for those of you who don't know.
Fear of missing out.
That's right, fear of missing out. Limited time only. Must buy now. Order in the next 5 minutes, or otherwise you may miss out. I don't know. I was having this conversation with Tina, and I don't see Tina out here today, which is unusual. I was hoping he would be here to be part of this
discussion,
but again,
it'd be much easier to do in voice instead of 6-second delay for typing.
Yeah, well, he couldn't get in voice if he wanted to, but I gotta say, and my stance was, I don't mind, and I don't think you mind.
No,
limited time items.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, the limited time items is your revenue generation realistically. And if you, and it may be that the way that it is codified, that it must have a broader length of time that it can be purchased. But the inclusion of the refund policy, holy shiz.
Big one. Very big one.
Yeah, that refund policy is going to kill.
How would you like to see things. How would you like to see people get refunded for all those lava pools? Preferably people like Stymie, who spent all that money on lava pools.
30 of them?
Yeah, and they just still haven't functioned properly. Now, again, I am thoroughly against what happens there and what happens here. Tina is here now. It
Well,
doesn't mind the
what
limited time items.
what about what happens about the castle walls that I bought?
Right.
Because if they did that refund policy, I'm refunding all those castle walls I bought.
Well, there would be a time limit on that. So, I mean, it wouldn't be.
No, well, according to that, there is no time limit.
He did never said that, and I'm sure
Yeah, he
there would
did.
be a caveat. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's go to the Crown store real quick. And if you notice, see now, I like things the way they used to be. Um, you go to the store page on the website, and if something was $10, I said purchase this, and I spent $10. Now,
Oh
if you
yeah.
go
Yeah.
if you go here, you'll notice that like on sale right now, you have the Oracle Guardian statue, which is 2,000 kodos. So say you have no kodos, so you have to go buy kodos.
Yeah.
You can't buy 2,000 because there is no 2,000. So you got to buy them, three 750s, or you got to buy a 1,600 and then a 750, which is more than you need, or a 3,200, which is way more than you need. Um,
Yeah.
I have always disliked this model to begin with, and I definitely agree with the folks who are complaining about this in the EU that if there's something here that's 2,000 kodos, I should just be able to buy the 2,000 kodos
The exact kodo amount. Yes.
amount. I shouldn't have to buy more or multiple bundles in order to make said purchase. So I'm all for that. Um, the refund policy, I would say I'm all for that, but I would say it should have a window, just like anything else, 30-day
Yeah.
refund window. That would be, Tina says, give a slider to buy exactly what you want. That I think that would be fine also, so that you can dial it in. So say you wanted to buy the 2,000 golden oracle statue and you wanted to buy the miniature ice elemental for 800, you could use a slider and get yourself 2,800 in one shot, and then so you're not making multiple purchases every time you want to make something.
Yeah.
Although,
And that one actually does mess with the Shroud math as far as the bonus kodos that they're trying to say that they're adding on to it.
well, bonus,
Yeah.
but again, this is what would be considered predatory practices.
Yes.
Again, is you're getting bonuses for, and that's just another way of saying we're trying to rip you off, which we're gonna make it look like we're giving you something of more value when it doesn't cost us anything to create these coins out of thin air.
Yeah.
But let's get back to the video now and get to the next portion of it. Ready? Count us in.
3, 2, 1, play.
Important bit. These solutions are the backbone of what the European Consumer Organization calls key principles for trustworthy gaming environments. And these could cause huge problems for anyone who is using premium currency. When I say this could shake the foundations of the game industry economy, I absolutely mean it. So, these, which I'm going to spell out for you, are the minimum requirements for purchasing and using virtual currencies in the EU. And what's neat is the philosophy behind them. So the CPCN considers these premium currencies as an equivalent to the real money that is used to purchase them.
Absolutely.
And that for them means that they are just as worthy of legal scrutiny. So you can see how that is in a way a mindset shift that paves the way for actually treating these as they are. So just think about the last game that you played that had a premium currency in it. Whatever that game is, I want you to keep it in mind And with that in your mind, I'm now going to go through the various different practices that this targets. So, prices for premium currency packs that are a little more than the available product. So you've got to buy extra coins, extra gems, whatever it may be. Obfuscation of how much currency is worth by always pairing currency with other items or multiple currency options. As an example, I think World of Warcraft may actually fall for that because it includes Trader's Tender in one of the new mount bundles. Another one, a complete lack of a refund option for making currency purchases or even for in-game items. So there would have to be a refund policy. That's something none of us are used to in these games.
Up
Also,
right there.
FOMO practices to encourage buying. Those are...
Yeah, if you go back right to that other clip right there.
It did actually have a 14-day
14-day for any virtual game currency that remains unused. That remains unused. Yeah. So yes, let's go ahead and continue.
Also,
well, did you also want to cover
to encourage
the little bit that's on the slide about the when designing?
What do you,
now that I slid back.
Yeah, when designing, I'm on that right now.
Commercial practices that encourage the purchase and or use of in-game virtual currencies, including advertising marketing techniques, consider the specific vulnerabilities of the player demographics and ensure they do not exploit those vulnerabilities and unfairly influence the economic behavior of those consumers. FOMO. Okay, so I am at 7:16. You are at what?
7:13, so no big deal. It's a 3-second difference.
We'll click play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Those are going to be looked at, so some of those may no longer be allowed. And all of these practices are now something that the EU can hold against developers and publishers, even more so if the parental controls of said game are not up to scratch. So it's less a case of me saying, can you think of any game that falls into those categories? And it's more me saying, can you think of a game that doesn't fall into those criteria? It's fairly humongous, which might indeed be the point here. We know this is something the EU have been thinking about in other circumstances than just Star Stable. As an example, in September 2024, the European Consumer Organization published a report on popular online games, and in that report, they targeted Diablo 4, EA Sports FC 24, Minecraft, Fortnite, and a bunch of others, and it was all about how the virtual currencies work. They were not thrilled on what they found in those games, right? Because many of them, well, they did the same things that, Star Stable did that we do not like. And that straight up means we can say that Electronic Arts and Blizzard Entertainment are being directly targeted by this body. That really is something. So it's no wonder that the BEUC will be holding workshops to help European companies implement these new principles. Because it seems they may actually have to implement them. Everything that they previously thought was acceptable pretty much now isn't. And here's the shocking thing, that's not my commentary. That is what the industry response has been, so we know they are shaking in their boots. It ain't surprising the industry bodies aren't thrilled about this, and a big shout out to one of our Belgrade Games members, Neo Nebulosa, for directing us to this stuff. So, the European Game Developers Federation and the Video Games Europe, or two groups basically, they've published a joint statement that expresses their disappointment with the findings. Let's read their statement. Quote, "We are disappointed by the lack of engagement from the CPC network in creating these principles, which introduce new legal theories and misguided interpretations of EU consumer law that will create confusion and disruption for European customers." Sidebar. Oh no, we're going to be disrupted by sort of annoying predatory stuff going away. What an awful disruption. Back to the statement. It will also present a challenge to the industry's future growth and could even deprive millions of consumers access to their favorite games. Now that last bit is the interesting thing. So understandably, right, these groups, representing the most powerful players in the industry, did quite like things the way that they were. Change is dangerous, especially to the bottom line, and especially change like this. But in a way, they're not inherently wrong. It is true that audiences do actually understand premium currencies by and large right now, and when implementing currencies, these companies were following, their best legal guidance, and now that guidance has changed. I guess, just like how so many phones had like a bespoke charging cable until the rules just changed in the middle of the game. So now they've got to get used to these new rules. And what'll sting is the impact on their bottom line. They're not wrong about the potential impacts of all of this. Now, big companies like Ubisoft can probably absorb the costs of any legal challenges or damage from rebuilding their premium currency systems. They'll probably spend a whole lot to try and figure out ways around these principles. As for smaller companies, well, they may not find that so easy. But where things will be dramatic is the group's final warning, because it's the most threatening one. It's the idea that players in the EU may just be locked out of video games. They'd say with a game like Overwatch, right? That they would simply choose to geo-restrict access to the game rather than change their monetization model or to just continue the game as normal and risk EU lawsuits. It could just be they look at the EU and think, you know what, we make enough from the States and other countries, we really don't need them. That being said, the EU population is kinda huge. Overall GDP is obviously a very, very flawed metric, but as an example, right, just Googling this here in 2024, the EU's nominal GDP was about 17.9 trillion and 1/6 of global nominal GDP, which is quite a lot of money, and a hell of a lot of that GDP globally will be in other countries like, say, China, where a lot of these companies will not be able to go in and directly monetize. That could actually mean that they will feel the need to change. And in a way, there are two wolves inside me who are fighting, right? I suppose one of them is the pragmatic wolf. The other one is the almost like the last vestiges of some sort of libertarian idealism that says, let the market decide. If the gamers do not like the bad practices, the gamers shall not partake in them, and the market will solve the problem. And I wish that was true, but I feel there's almost a faux idealism in so much of that, because these psychological hooks, these psychological triggers, they do actually work. We're in a world where you can very easily make, I think, some sound enough, philosophical arguments very much against regulation and all of that. And I totally get that. I'm fairly sympathetic towards that in many cases. But the thing is, we've also got to be pragmatic. And a part of that is being a bit humble about the human condition. And the fact of the matter is, these practices are not popular. People do not like them. Yet, people's behavior does continue. And these obviously are bad. And as people who enjoy video games, we see that as these types of practices derive more and more revenue, they then become what the companies focus on. And that is worse for the actual video games. Because I suppose in a way, how much of game industry revenue comes essentially from psychological manipulation and these various business strategies that are designed to rake in revenue in a way that's not like really tied to the experience of a game that you purchase. We've just seen the share of that increase and increase and increase, and it's no wonder that as that is increased, the rest of us have become less and less satisfied with games. So in a way, if this does hurt the revenue of a bunch of companies and unfortunately leads to a bunch of job losses because these types of practices are no longer viable, good riddance. Good riddance, absolutely. Let the companies fail, let those jobs go down. How we run things should be a dialogue between the private and public sectors, and in a case like this, I think it's an example of the public sector, right? The people essentially saying, we actually do not like this practice. We don't want this to be the rules of the game. We want the rules of the game to change, to be more robust. And the market will, once it adapts to that, find a solution. And if the new rule set is a better rule set, then that should be a net good. But of course, none of this will matter if there's no enforcement.
Yep, stop right there. So, yeah, thoughts. First off, I don't see any gaming company going, oh, we're just going to geo-restrict our game because they want every single penny they can get out of every consumer out there, first off. What are your thoughts on that?
What I think they'll do is they will end user license agreement create an explicit exclusion that this does not comply with this. This is your we're basing everything on US law for this game, and you are not according to the user license agreement, and they're going to try to lawyer a back door into it.
Well, Yeah, well, they can try, but Apple tried to fight it with the USB-C cable, and when it came down to it, when the EU said,
Yeah.
"No, this is how we want it," the rest of the world fell in place and followed. By the way, Noob Skyblabber, I see you're out there. Please go remove your leech statue. If you didn't get my email in game yet, out in Journey's End, please, and put it away until they
No,
fix the
noob,
bug.
leave it. Leave it. Leave it, noob. Kill everybody else trying to
Anyone
stop their vendors.
Go ahead, love me.
anyone else
Put
thinks
out
that
more
guy
of them.
kind of looks like? Anyone else thinks that guy kind of looked like a nerdy Conan O'Brien?
No.
I just hate that he increased the bass on his microphone. And it's got some weird sounds on it. Yes.
Yeah, I see this going the same way as Cookie Stuff did. Soon we'll have 35 pop-ups to dismiss for every interaction. Again, Rustic, we had it right in the first place when the store used to be on the web page. You can go spend $10, and it was $10. It wasn't premium currency. You were spending real money, and I made a purchase for $10. My credit card or my bank account, whatever I had linked, my PayPal, got charged $10. No more, no less. I didn't have to buy increased amounts of crowns in order to make my purchase. I didn't have to go and figure out Shroud math in order to figure out what I needed. If I wanted, and I'm going to just bring this up too. I'm going to go over to my account here.
You can just look at the Make a Difference store because that is still items that are only available on the web page, not available as crowns.
Go. There's a.
Okay.
Let's go to the
if
store
you want
and
these
make a difference.
items,
There you go. Good point.
You would actually have to spend the real cash.
$19, $15, yes.
Yeah.
$15. You want the whole bundle, $70. For each individual category, each has its own little pricing structure. Now, I'm not logged in there, so I'm just going to
I'm not logged
quick.
in either, so
I gotta sort of hide that first real quick.
And,
and then I can go out here and give people a really good idea of what we're talking about when, because when I get to the add-ons page, you guys will understand that, $10, $20, $20, $20, $40, $50, $5, $20, $50, $20, $20, $10, $10, $10, $45, $8, $10, $10, $10, $10, you get it. And this goes on and on. I've got pages upon pages of purchases that were made for cash money, $100, $100, $50, $50. And I spend money. Jack spent money.
I did the same thing with a bunch of crap.
25, 25, 20. $200 flexible placement package.
You got nothing. Nothing.
Well, I'm skipping a lot of stuff. Then I got a lot of $2, $2, $2, $3, $4, $3, $2, $12. But you guys get the idea. $100, $68. What was $68? Oh, crowns. Okay, yeah. Star Citizen coupon, $65. But as you can see, this goes on and on. $100, $100, $80, $80. That's when I got ripped off for the ends. $4, $4, $5, $5. This is when you could just make a purchase and be happy. And I'm not even halfway down this list yet, by the way, just so you all get an idea. There's a lot of $0 here because these were Merit's Fitness rewards, which didn't cost anything that were given out. But there's a lot of $5, $5.
It is one where they
Thank
screwed
you,
their own business model with the purchased from Crowns and moving it out from outside of the game
Well, I think what really
or into the
screwed the
game.
pooch was, you know, the fear of missing out.
Oh yeah.
They got rid of that.
Oh
Whereas
yeah.
you can still buy 2014, 2010, 2000, whatever, and that just needs to be gone. Noob Skyblabber with
Absolutely.
300 bits. Also they're like their latest
Yeah.
one-time only items. $85 and $60 just to get those, and they're never going to be released again. Which I know, they say that now, but we've been told that lie before, and I'm sure that somewhere, someday down the line, that'll change.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And the fact that the items that I spent cash on that's never supposed to return have come back for less than
what
I
we spent
actually
on 'em.
spent. Okay, because I will use the Star Citizen airship, okay? Because I spent $400 on it.
Wasn't
Okay.
that supposed to be $750 to begin with?
Well, the airship itself was the
Morgan.
Star Citizen airship City Home is $400, and it's got the redeem code for the ship in Star Citizen that was tied directly to it, or else I would I need to take this screenshots that way, and then I need to go put this in Paint. And so that way I can bring this up on stream, and then I need to brush this.
Better
Brush.
make it quick because we're at
Yeah. I need a thicker brush. Okay. And then crop. And then copy and paste. So this way you can actually bring this up on stream. I spent $400 on it. Okay. And if we go look in game at the so that's $400 for it. And if we go in game and do the airship, right? And go to the Cloud Imperium.
$100.
$100. So 1/4 of my limited time, limited number of airships. Now 1/4 of the price I actually paid for.
And only available for a limited time.
Yes.
Until we sell all 150 of them. That was the limited time.
But they stopped even counting them.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. But yes, it is definitely time for us to get out of here.
All right. Well, Lomir wanted a game of marbles, which we'll have to play on Monday because we didn't have time today. And then we are going to close the giveaway and pick ourselves a wiener. And that is going to be Knight Rider.
Is getting Retro Machina.
And Knight Rider, you're going to get that copy of Smoke and Sacrifice today. We're at $20, so congratulations to you. And Monday,
Retro Machinas.
we will start Monday with the game of marbles for Lomir and
if
another
remember,
giveaway.
$17.
But meanwhile, we got to get out of here. We'll be back with more on Monday, right here on NBNN. Until then, I'm Laz.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Lomir.
And we are NBNN. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll see you all on Monday.
Bye-bye.